Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3 Art, and welcome to part 2 of my Star Wars movie saga series. This time I'll be going into my initial thoughts on the second part of the Star Wars saga titled Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. This movie was released in 2002 and stars the main three casts of returning Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Natalie Portman as now Senator Amidala, and bringing in for the first time Hayden Christensen as our main protagonist, Anakin Skywalker. Now, this movie takes place 10 years after the events of Phantom Menace and 22 years before the events of A New Hope. Ha! I got it right this time. Now, the main plot of Attack of the Clones has Senator Amidala returning to Coruscant as she needs to take part in an important vote for Congress. Her posse is suddenly attacked, her main decoy is killed, and she is then being forced to be under the protection of two Jedi because they believe that there's an assassination plot being put together to take Senator Amidala out. Now, these two Jedi that have been put under her for her protection have been her old friends Obi-Wan Kenobi and now grown up Anakin Skywalker. However, after Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker stop an assassination attempt, they then decide to send Obi-Wan Kenobi in order to hunt down the bounty hunter who apparently has been given the hit to take her out, and Anakin Skywalker is going to escort Senator Amidala to Naboo in order to keep her safe. Now, this is when the movie kind of divides into two different plot lines. You have Obi-Wan Kenobi going to find the clone planet of Kamino, and as there he discovers the secret undiscovered planet where apparently they're developing this massive clone army for the Republic for whatever use. And you have Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala doing stuff, in which it eventually leads Anakin to having to go to his home planet of Tatooine in order to save his mother. However, events unravel there, which lead to some revelations about a certain character, which then leads them to have to go to the planet of Geonosis in order to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has tracked the bounty hunter of Jango Fett there. And it's at that point that the Clone Wars eventually implode and the Clone Wars starts. Now, I'm going to say this. There's a lot. I'll stick to my style and go for what I liked about this movie. For the most part, most of the performances I think are okay. The only one I think is actually good is Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi because he's great in all his scenes throughout the prequels. He's probably the one thing that is consistently good about these films. As far as the rest of the cast, they are either not very good or very underwhelming. Another thing I thought was good is we got to see more variety of planets, which was something I mentioned in my Phantom Menace review. Despite the fact that this has a very heavy use of CGI and some of it hasn't aged very well, I really did like the variety of planets. I've gone on record many times saying that Kamino is probably my favorite planet that I would like to live at, and we got to see some really cool blaster fire action involving the clones, which actually explains where the Empire's main forces came from. However, I'm actually happy to see troops just like that being able to shoot because clone troopers are vastly superior to stormtroopers in every single way, and I'll go on record in saying that. Another thing I also really liked is I think they handled some of the political scenes a little bit better, of them explaining that a situation takes place in which the Trade Federation is building an army in order to overthrow the Republic, and we need an army now in order to defend ourselves against the CIS. I think those scenes were definitely better handled than they were in Phantom Menace. Another thing I also did like to some extent is we finally got to see Yoda in action. I know that some people don't like, they didn't like seeing Yoda use a lightsaber, but I think it was necessary because Yoda is a warrior, and even though he doesn't like to fight, which is true to his character, just to see that he can fight, and I know it's, you know, kind of really funny, this little guy doing all these twists and turns and flips. I think that's pretty cool because that shows that, you know, never judge a fighter by his size because, trust me, when push comes to shove, Yoda can really move. Now we gotta go into the cons, and trust me, there are a lot of them. I'm sorry, first time around, Hayden Christensen did not do a good job as Anakin Skywalker. I'm not sure if he was the best person for this role, or if it was just bad directing. I know it got better, and I'll go into this when I get into my Revenge of the Sith review, but in this one, he just cannot deliver his lines very well. I don't know what it is. It's not necessarily the line, it's how he is saying them. It just sounds awkward, like he's trying to add emotion to what he's saying, but he's kind of holding back because he doesn't want to overact, but it's kind of awkward. And for some reason, his performance actually affected Natalie Portman's performance, because I thought her character for the most part is dumb. In which she's been put in situations where a logical person would know what to do in such a certain situation, but for whatever reason, she's letting her emotions control her. And dear God, the one thing I hate in this movie are the love scenes. I'm sorry, these two characters have no chemistry, and so do the actors. These scenes do not work, and it is painful to watch, despite the fact that half of this movie is focused on this. This is supposed to be like half the movie, and it doesn't work. This is like Twilight bad acting and line saying. It's like Twilight bad before Twilight came around. I mean, it is just painful to watch. I mean, thank God we have fast forward buttons, because I can't watch their scenes. They are literally that bad. However, I will go on record by saying that they have maybe 2 scenes together that I think actually work. The first one being maybe their initial interaction, where she finds him kind of awkward that he's kind of hitting on her, and why she doesn't ask for another Jedi to watch after her, I have no idea. And the scene after Anakin slaughters the Sand People and kind of goes into an emotional rant explaining what his problem with everything is, because it's at that moment you really get to understand Anakin's character and his main flaws. And I believe they actually handled this better than they did with Luke Skywalker in the originals. Yes, I know I said something something bad, but I'll go on record and say you got to see his flaws right at this point. Another problem I have with this movie is that the last act is kind of a big cluster fuck. I mean, it's a little bit all over the place. I mean, just because you throw all these droids and all these lightsabers and Jedi doesn't mean it's good to look at, because sometimes it's really, really hard to look at. And since some of the CGI hasn't aged very well, it just looks poorly. And I really dislike how they really underused such a great actor as Christopher Lee, God rest his soul, because I think Count Dooku really could have been a very interesting character. And throughout the prequels, especially in the movies, he's really not given enough screen time to do anything. I mean, yes, I know he's a total badass with the lightsaber and you can go toe-to-toe with Yoda, but I wish he was in it more. It's just a shame that they wait that the most you ever get to see this character do anything useful is throughout the Clone Wars series. He's given a lot more development and screen time in that than he does in these films, and I think that's a total waste. So, overall, you can tell that Attack of the Clones is without doubt the worst of the prequels. However, I will admit that there are some good elements, especially surrounding Ewan McGregor's performance of Obi-Wan Kenobi and what Obi-Wan Kenobi does away from Anakin and Padme Amidala. If I had to give this movie a rating, though, I'm going to have to give Star Wars Attack of the Clones a D. I'm not going to give it a D- because there is enough to it that I can watch some of the movie, but not all of it. But there is just too much crap in this movie to make it anywhere near enjoyable or even watchable for the most part. If you like my movie review for Attack of the Clones, be sure to like, comment down below, and share you guys your thoughts with Attack of the Clones with me in the comments down below. And please keep track of me in my next part of my Star Wars movie review series. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and may the Force be with you.